Hey, I'm Ryan, one of the co-founders at Treehouse. And if you've ever considered building an app or making a website, you are probably wondering, how does this whole world fit together? What do I need to learn? What tools do I need to use? How does it all fit together? So the basic premise is you have mobile apps, you have websites, and you have web apps. And depending on what you want to build, you'll learn different things. So let's say that you're interested in building mobile apps. Those are things like Snapchat or Instagram or games. If you want to build a mobile app, then you decide which type of phone or mobile device do you want to use. So do you want to have it available on an iPhone and an iPad or on an Android phone or Android tablet? Once you decide, yep, I want to build an iPhone app, for instance, then you would learn something called iOS. You need a Mac to do that, and then you use a tool that's free, and it's called Xcode. And you make apps using a language called Objective-C. The way you sell those apps is in the App Store. So you upload it to the App Store, and then Apple okays it or doesn't. Hopefully they okay it. And then it goes in the store, and then you can charge real money for that and launch your app that way. The next thing is if you decide, well, I'd rather make an Android app. For a Nexus phone or a Nexus tablet, then you are building for Android. And Android is the operating system of those devices. And the tool that you use is usually something like Eclipse or something new that's going to be launched soon called Android Studio. The actual language that you use to build those apps is called Java. So that is the basic idea of mobile apps. You code in these specific languages, in these specific tools, and then people download your apps in the App Store and they pay for them that way. Now, say instead you would rather build a website. So you want to build a website for your restaurant or for your dad's business or for your school. The tools that you use to build websites are basically a text editor, and then you save your files and then you upload them to the internet. The languages you need to learn are called HTML, CSS, and a little bit of JavaScript. Those are some of the easiest things to learn initially. You don't have to do a lot of programming or a lot of technical things. They're fairly straightforward. So that's how to build a website. Now, say that you want to build a website, but you want people to interact with it. You want them to log in, or you want them to, friend people or like things or create accounts. All those things really turn that website into a web application. Something that you interact with. And examples of that are, things like Facebook. Google Maps is a good example. It's something that's very interactive. So if you want to build something like that, first of all, you pick a language to build it in. And at Treehouse, we guide you down that path, which language you should pick. But your choices are things like Ruby, PHP, Python. There's more, but those are some of the most common ones. And then once you pick a language, then you would also pick a database. And a database is basically a thing that holds all the information in the site. So when you create an account and a password, that is stored in the database. The tools that you use to make web apps are also text-based. So you have a text editor, and then you save your files, and then you upload them to the internet. It's similar to making a website, but you use more powerful languages to make things happen. So we've covered so far mobile apps, websites, and web apps. Now let's talk a little bit more about the types of jobs that you might get in those fields. So all three of those things require three types of people. The first is a designer. The second is a front-end developer, and the third is a developer. I'll briefly talk about what each of those people do. So a designer thinks about the way things look and how they work. And they use tools like Photoshop, Illustrator, various tools like that, and they design it and they make it look great. And then they hand it over to the next person, which is a front-end developer. And a front-end developer is someone who takes that design and then they chop it up and they translate it into code. And they use tools like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, what's happening more and more, though, is designers and front-end developers are becoming the same person. So at Treehouse, we only hire designers that are also front-end developers. So eventually, it really pays off to know both those skills. And then you have back-end developers. So a front-end developer will chop up the design and make it ready, but it won't actually work. You can look at it, but you can't actually log in, or you can't actually create an account, that type of thing. So the backend developer takes that and then they wire it up, quote unquote. They connect it to the database. They write code to make the app actually work and function. They're using tools like Ruby, Python, PHP, Java, things like that. So that is the basic overview of how all this fits together. It can be confusing at first, but once you understand that there's these basic buckets, okay, I want to make a mobile app, or I want to make a website, or I want to make a web app. Once you decide which of those three things you want to do, then you can go down a track and learn it. And that's why at Treehouse, we make it very simple to go down a track, and we tell you exactly what you need to know and in what order you need to learn it. So thanks for watching. Hope that clarifies this kind of confusing and overwhelming world of technology into something that is actually pretty straightforward. And we hope that you come and learn with us. Thanks.